Hey y'all, so oh my goodness, I'm just gonna jump right into this thing. I'm gonna give y'all a little background. So I don't watch the Oscars and BET Awards. I don't watch award shows. I don't follow celebrities and all that good jazz. I just don't watch it. I don't watch much TV. So I didn't even know the Oscars had happened on Sunday. Um, I was asleep most of the time, but today, Monday, when I woke up, of course, I checked my social media and I see all of my friends, with the Will and Jada memes and Chris Rock and so on and so forth. So I'm like, shoot, what happened? So I had to go back and do some investigative work, rewatch some of the videos, figure out what happened. Then I had to watch a couple more videos to see Chris Rock and his hosting of the Oscars before and try to get all the background information so I could try to get a good understanding about what all the commotion was. And so I saw it, like everyone, probably like everyone else has by now. And like I said, I don't get into celebrity lies and news, so I'm not going to talk about Will, Jada, entanglements, slapping Chris Rock, and all that good jazz. But what I am going to attempt to get into is the mixed emotions and reactions from real life people like myself, people I know. So I see a trend. My sister girls, my women, folk, they all like, yes, 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 Will, defend your wife, defend your wife. Chris Rock, it wasn't funny, so on and so forth. And then there's the other side where, some of the men that I know are like, oh, Will is a simp. He didn't address these issues when, she was talking about entanglements and how she's been embarrassing him and so on and so forth, right? So we've if you follow them, you follow them. I've seen a couple of episodes of the Red Table Talk. I've seen all the entanglement memes and all the interviews and all of that, right? So I'm like, why are people so invested in Will Smith, Jada Pinkett Smith, Chris Rock? And what I came up with is that it's not so much the celebrity, but it's us projecting our own thoughts, feelings, and emotions into those situations that we may find ourselves in, just in a smaller, less public forum. So that's what we're projecting when we make our opinions and when we make our posts and when we pick a side, because most people can only project from their own perspective and from their own idea of what they would do in any particular situation. Myself, what I'm attempting to do is look at a whole picture so that I can have a whole and be a whole, well-rounded person for myself, and trying to expand my ability to empathize. So what I'm saying is, like, one half of me, I'm a woman, is like, yes, husbands, boyfriends, significant others, defend your significant other, your wife. Do what it is, that you need to do. But there's also a motherly side of me. There's the rational side of me that says defend when there's a threat of bodily harm. I taught my children, and I've said this to us children, hey, keep your hands to yourself. Don't push, don't instigate, things like that. So reconciling that part of me that has said that to my own children and the part of me that has to restrain myself when I'm feel like I'm being disrespected in various settings such as work. I say, I can't just haul off and slap, the first person that crosses my space or my boundaries, or that I feel has disrespected me, because it's not socially acceptable. I have something to lose, and it's just wouldn't be a good look. Now, if my person is being threatened and there's the threat of bodily harm to me, okay, different story. I didn't see that in this particular situation. So for him to actually, assault Chris Rock was a bit much. I don't care, Yeah, we've all done something that we regret. Yep. And he should be given some grace, and he and Chris Rock will work that out because that's their business. Um, and that didn't have nothing to do with me. So, why is there such a divide on what's right, what's wrong, and what's socially acceptable? I find that alarming in our society that as a people, as a human race, as one, people that have to coexist in this life, why can't we rationalize what's right, what's wrong, and what has come to be socially acceptable? That is the topic and the bigger issue here, for you and I, because that celebrity business ain't got nothing to do with us. They're not gonna get paid anymore, any less, over what we type on social media. But the bigger implications are, what can you and I agree on as to what's right, what's wrong, and what's socially acceptable? Because we have to live in this society. Excuse me. We have to live in this society with each other. So we need to be able to know the difference between right, wrong. And the way the comments is going, it ain't looking good for us out here, right? We can agree it's wrong to assault, one another. We can agree that it's wrong to disrespect one another. And then that brings up the another issue is, was what Chris Rock said actually disrespectful? Why was it disrespectful? And where do we draw the line with comedy and entertainment, right? If you've ever been to a comedy show, you may have been the butt of a joke. You might have laughed. Somebody else might have felt disrespected. Will Smith has been deemed a comedian. He's probably told some jokes that made some people feel uncomfortable, just like Jada felt uncomfortable and was just a little I think she was more irritated, that Chris had to go there. She was probably hoping that no one had anything to say about the hair loss, but he went there, okay? As you can see, I have limited hairs, and thankfully for me, that's a choice. But if I were at a comedy show, or if I was, in that particular situation, somebody made a G.I. Jane joke, it wouldn't have been particularly offensive to me. I don't have an illness, but illness aside, a bald head joke is a bald head joke, right? You never know how the person is going to receive being the butt of a joke. And having gone back a few Oscar shows, watching the reruns with Chris Rock, and how he kind of went off a little bit about Will and Jada when they boycotted the Oscars that year. What Will was called Oscars So White or something like that. And I thought he did a really good job hosting that monologue that he did. Yeah, that was just my 2 cents. I thought it was pretty good. So then I can kind of see how it was just a history and a culmination of things that led up to that particular moment and Will's reaction. But getting back to how this applies to you and I, not being, celebrities and in the spotlight as much as Will and Jada has. For me, it came down to a few different issues, a few different internal conflicts for me. One, being a woman, I'm like, yes, Will is defending his wife. I love to see it. That's beautiful. Ooh, Will, you kind of just, rained on your own parade and dishonored yourself publicly. And then you went on to make a speech, about God elevating you and what God is calling you to do. Ugh. Okay, whatever, no big deal. We've kind of all had those slip ups and had to come to those realizations. But his came in a matter of minutes. But whatever. And then the other half of me, also as a woman, is like, ooh, Jada, you had a chance to, save Will, to honor Will in that moment. And me as a woman, as I was married for 10 years, and just like, what would I have been thinking? Like, I don't think that's the response she wanted for Will. I don't think that's what she wanted for him, to go up there and slap Chris Rock. And then my daughter, she texts me saying, Mom, we gonna get a red table talk out of this. Ooh, I hope not. I hope not. I hope Jada takes this time to do something honorable for her husband, after having, in my limited understanding of the situation with them, having dishonored him in so many different ways before. Now's not the time for, I don't want a red table talk, please, Jada. But hey, whatever, that ain't my business, if she does or if she doesn't. But me, I can't understand why anybody would do that, and why she didn't, just reach up there, grab him, babe, let it go, babe. And the camera never panned back to her for us to see her reaction. At least I haven't, caught up and saw all the videos. I haven't seen her respond to her reaction, but ooh, it's just unpleasant all around unpleasant for everyone. Chris Rock, very unpleasant for him, I'm sure. Being a comedian, you can't be cracking too many jokes after you just got slapped on live TV. But I'm sure he'll find a way to make a joke about it. So yeah, let me know where y'all stand, and if y'all have any, situations or scenarios in your own life that sways your opinion about how everything went down one way or another. Another point I wanted to make is about how, how I said, most of the men that I saw were, like, oh no, Will, you shouldn't have did that. You should have slapped the boy your wife been sleeping with, and she been embarrassing you, all these, and you pick Chris Rock to, just lash out at. And then the women on the other hand, ooh, y'all men are not, y'all not the Will Smiths, and y'all don't take up for y'all wives, and so on and so forth, right? So, I'm like, why is there such a, divide? So for the bros that think this way, right? I think it's because a lot of men can't reconcile the dishonor that Jada has that we perceive Jada has put Will through. Men can't reconcile that, so they can't, understand why he would respond to Chris Rock disrespecting his wife the way that he perceived that he did. And then women can't reconcile with the men how they wouldn't honor their wife and defend their wife or significant other after having been, dishonored by their wives or significant others, so much in the past. That's why we're so at odds with the things that are happening, right? So I look at Will as a defender of his wife and his family's honor. He has defended his wife. He has stood by his wife. He stood up for his children when they were being, talked about and ridiculed in the media, so on and so forth. And that is admirable. That is to be recognized and appreciated in Will. Now, some men have called him simp, cornball, all of those things. But honoring your wife, there's nothing simple about that. There's nothing cornballish about honoring your commitment, your wife, and your family. But most men can't reconcile what they perceive to have been the disrespect that Jada had given to Will. And so that's why they can't, they can't reconcile the two. And then, women, we're like, oh, forget all that other stuff. Let's go. We team Will. But we also can't look inward and say, hey, we understand why men think this way. It's not that all men are disrespectful or all these men wouldn't stand up for their wives. It's just that we have to look inward and reconcile within ourselves that, if the perception is the reality, then we've perceived that Jada has really dishonored her husband, really been disrespectful, and he has not defended his own honor. He has not defended himself against the entanglement, against the Tupac love letters being read, or, all of those things that we perceive as disrespect. But that doesn't make him a cornball. That just means that he values his honor, his wife's honor, even at the risk of his own. And that's just him. As far as we know, as far as I know, just as far as we can tell, right? So how do we reconcile those two things? How do I reconcile those two things in myself? In that moment where, I've dishonored my husband, he's forgiven me, and we're trying to move forward, and I have this condition, and now I feel someone is disrespecting me. Well, my opportunity to honor my husband or my significant other now at this time is to say, no, babe, don't do it. This is your moment. I'll be okay. I'm fine. We'll deal with that later. And I think both sides, when you look at it that way, both sides win. There's no lose-lose in that situation. Will gets his much-deserved Oscar. And that's another thing. All these actors, these African American actors, are getting their Oscars for the first time. I ain't know that. I ain't know Will Smith ain't had no Oscar. I ain't know that. Who was that? Samuel Jackson had no Oscar. But hey, like I said, I don't watch it, so it ain't a shock that I wouldn't know. So yeah, this thing has been juicy. Okay. But just not so much for the reasons. Oh Lord, I saw somebody. I ain't gonna call them out. They knew who they are. To my Will was right. Will was right, standing up for his wife. And I'm thinking to myself, as mad disrespectful as you are to your woman, and you have the audacity, that's why, people get on social media and they put on. No. Go get real with yourself, okay? You've been disrespectful. You've been disrespected. And a lot of us can't, like I said, in my job, I can't just haul off and slap people that I feel have disrespected me because I got something to lose. I ain't no Will Smith and Jada. I ain't got the millions. Now, if I had some millions, some people might get slapped. But does having money, wealth, fame, celebrity, and all that give you a pass to do things that other people would deem inappropriate? Does it? It's starting to look like it does. Because let you or I, we do all right. We doing okay. We ain't no, whatever. But we can't just go around slapping people because they made an alopecia joke. There are millions of men and women suffering with alopecia who face, unfortunate ridicule, and they don't get to slap nobody. So, for everyday people, for you and I think those are the bigger issues here than Will Smith and Chris Rock. Them people they gonna be alright, okay? They don't face the same, repercussions, levels of repercussions, right? We've all done things that we regret. I think Will and Chris have worked it out. We'll work it out. And there's different levels of repercussions to people's actions. Some were saying that Will could lose his Oscar, which I don't think he should. I mean, I don't think he should. I can't say that if this was somebody else, would they lose their Oscar? Would I be okay? I don't know. But seeing as how this the man's first Oscar, just to have it marred by this, it's just so unfortunate for him. I would think it was unfortunate for anyone in any situation if, they had accomplished something only to have it, marred by some, irrational decision or mistake or some ill-timed joke. It's just tough. But y'all go ahead, jump in the comments, click like, share, and subscribe, and let me know what you think about the video. Okay? Bye.